Okay, so new year, new me and all that stuff. And what a lot of people are trying to do is they're trying to make some new habits in their life. So I thought I'd try and give some tips on some things that has worked for me that hopefully might work for you as well. So the first one is micro habits. So a lot of people try and go for the jugular with doing new stuff and tend to lose motivation because it's not going the way they planned, or they find the struggle to keep up the big target that they've set. So doing micro habits, for example, with the gym is a lot more feasible to hopefully try and make that habit last. So, for example, trying to make yourself the habit of doing 1 minute exercise a day. And if you're more likely to do the 1 minute than you are, for example, the 45-minute workout or whatever that people set themselves. And often what happens as well is as soon as you start a micro habit, so you say you're going to go for a minute, you'll end up doing a little bit more anyway. And it's just the fact of you doing something, you're setting the precedent, you've actually done it. Even if it's a small thing you've done, you've still done it, haven't you? So, and if you start doing that every single day or however many times a week you want to try and do it, then it's again setting the precedent in your own mind that that's going to be a habit for the foreseeable. Okay, on to the next one. So making lists, I think, is a good way to try and keep habits going. There are straightforward lists, so obviously tick lists that you can do. So you might write your goals and your targets on there. But you could also do, for example, a reverse list. So you could write down all the things you've done at the end of the day. And some people like to do it a little bit more that way. Also, I've got chart yourself. So if you've got a certain goal and you want to make it into a habit each day, then write it down, make it visible, and tick it off each day that you do manage to achieve it. And if that's what type of person you are, if you're visual, for example, then that should help you. You could also go a bit further with that, so you might reward yourself. So you set yourself a target of doing 5 workouts a week or whatever that your target might be. And if you do manage to achieve that, then you can reward yourself in however you feel necessary. And again, on the list one, it's all about setting your targets. So if you have them visual, whether they're big or small, then and you can see them every day. So for example, if you've got them on a board in your house or whatever, or wrote down on a piece of paper, or on your phone screensaver, for example, something you're more likely to see very often, then it's more likely to sort of ingrain into yourself as well. Okay, next one, I've got linking to an existing habit. So you've probably already got habits that you already do all the time. So, for example, brushing your teeth for one is one. So you could quite easily link a new habit to that existing one. So, for example, you might have set yourself a target if you want to be more grateful. You might say to yourself, right, every time I brush my teeth, I'm going to go through while I'm brushing my teeth all the things I'm grateful for. And because you've linked it to that existing habit, it becomes a lot easier to remember and a lot easier to repeat. You could link it to something else, for example, walking the dog, whatever it is that you already do, that you know is already ingrained in, that you do all the time anyway. Link it to something that you'd like to do, and hopefully that should stick with you a lot more. Okay, so the final thing I've got on this is just not to beat yourself up, not to kick yourself about it, because making things into a habit is really, really difficult. So if you do not meet your target that you've set, or it doesn't go as way you plan, don't beat yourself up. Maybe try and ask yourself why that's happened. It might be obvious, it might not be, and then look how you can then improve for the next time. So even if you haven't beat your target on that one particular day, try and beat it the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and so on and so on. Okay, so hopefully some of those have been helpful, and whatever you choose to do, remember, try and be positive, and remember to enjoy.